yes, it's Independence Day celebration time. And it started yesterday, and we have the advantage of a weekend ahead of us.
Exactly.
Nigeria, Nigerians home and abroad unify across diverse backgrounds once again to reflect on over 60 years of our nation's history.
On the 1st of October 1960, Africa's most populous country, with over 200 million inhabitants, became a sovereign republic. That's not the news. Though that's very historic, is a fact. The question on many lips at the moment is 60 years after. Is there anything to celebrate?
61.
61 years, actually.
Well, that is difficult as the question is, you know, you cannot give a yes or no to that kind of question. Certainly, during the course of today's conversation, you know, some answers will definitely be provided.
Yeah, I know that. And so without further ado, let me, on behalf of the entire team here at Plus TV Africa, welcome you warmly to a very special edition of the program, dedicated to celebrating our dear country, Nigeria. I'm Helen Omadele, and in these perilous days, it's a real pleasure to be alive and well.
Perilous days. Well, very well captured, Helen. To be amongst the living and in good health, we have to thank the Almighty Father. True. And thanks for joining the show. Today with John and Helen, it's a wholesome diet for the family. I am John Senaya. And if you are Nigerian and belong to a family, then we should jointly reflect or celebrate today on the program. Nigeria, our beloved country, is 61.
Yes, 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 yes. And so to ensure that you have value for time spent with us today, we have invited 3 Nigerians of very high repute to look at the topic. My Nigeria, our Nigeria, yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Wow.
Muyiwa Majekodumi is on set today. Semore Badejo is also with us, and Zil Akarawi.
And of course,
also one of our guests.
Yes, and of course, we shall spice up the show with some health activity and other important information. Please stay with us while we go on a quick break. It is Today with John and Helen on Plus TV Africa, a special Independence Day edition. Join us again.
You are one family. There's no doing all this sport in Nigeria.
See how your body just dripping diamond.
Well, I like Nigeria because Nigeria is my country. No matter how your father look and the state of your father, you must still like him as a father.
Despite the fact that we are experiencing some difficulties, it's our country. There's no home better than your own home country.
Nigeria, it's my country. I like Nigeria. I love Nigeria very, very well.
It's a country, I mean, we live here, whether what you like, what you don't like, you must live here. And we live life every day, and it's all fine.
Well, the only thing I think I like about Nigeria is the fact that I was born and bred in Nigeria. That's the only thing I think my father, my mother, they are Nigerians.
What I really like about Nigeria is we don't have unity in Nigeria. So we have partial too in Nigeria, which our government did that to us. And though the fault is from the government, but the major thing is from the, what they call it, we people calling ourselves Nigerians too. We have problems.
Abraham, Moses, Jacob, you are one family. There's no doing all this sport in Nigeria.
See how your body just dripping diamond.
All right, thanks so much for being there. So the question, at 61, how much is the country a reflection of the dreams and hopes and aspirations of our founding fathers. Are we truly an independent sovereign nation today?
What can
John?
I say? Perhaps we can find some answers as we take a look at some landmark events of our week.
Time is so far spent.
Yes.
So much has been said of the happenings in the week, and with that vox pop. So I think we should just
Maybe we should just
dive
roll
right
on.
in.
Yes, because our guest is actually raring to go.
Okay. So as we invite to the show our first guest, I had just a glimpse of the country's motto: unity and faith, peace and progress. And that's sticking, it's stuck in my head all through this morning. It's my singular pleasure to welcome to the show Mr. Muyiwa Majekudumi, an experienced manager and team player with background in advertising and marketing. He's an accomplished music and cultural promoter, artist and events manager, founder in 1999 of a very popular celebrity hangout, Jazzville, which hosted several artists, among them Fela Nicola Kuti, Abamieda himself, and Fumi, and a lot of other artists from across Africa.
Yeah, as he's fondly called. I call him Jekyll.
Oh boy.
It's called by his friends, also co-founded the Jazz African Network to promote jazz and serious African music. He's a parent, and member, and administrator with the Down Syndrome Foundation. From 2016, he started it up to 2019. Yeah. So he is also a trained experiential learning facilitator, and presently working on setting up Down to Music, an initiative to encourage musical and artistic skills of children with Down syndrome. That's right. Our first guest enjoys encouraging and motivating. He loves encouraging and motivating others, who are in the same, call it, boat with him. And we'd like to welcome to the program a proud Nigerian, Muyiwa Majekudumi.
Thank you so much.
Jeko, it's so good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Happy Independence.
I won't tell you what.
Please tell me Happy Independence, at least.
I won't tell you what I posted on
the
Facebook
positives.
yesterday. Happy Independence.
Okay, thank you.
Independence. Happy Independence.
All right, John.
So, Jeko, congratulations again on our 61st Independence Day, we insist. Now, I've known you for years. I think
we've become dinosaurs.
We've become like dinosaurs.
Yes.
Incidentally, I attended same secondary school with him.
Wow.
Primary
school, yes.
Primary school with him, and we've been together ever since. So, Jeko, tell me some of the landmark memories of Nigeria as a young boy.
Wow. I remember growing up in the 60s. I spent my first 3 years here in Nigeria and the next couple of years in England. I came back again.
Yeah.
But I remember coming back home in 1965 with my father, who happened to be a diplomat. And my then perception of Nigeria was that there was unity, there was purpose, there was togetherness. There were values that we all held so deeply. I've never heard of the Yoruba, Igbo. I didn't hear of those things growing up.
Yes.
We were just simply one
family.
I remember living in Unike. Everybody was, we were one.
Yeah.
And I miss those days. I miss the days of the camaraderie. I miss the days of going to friends' houses and then they're coming back to us. I miss the peace and the tranquility of that period. I miss the safety and security of that period. It was a secure. You could leave your keys in the car. We had no. We didn't have any fences.
We hardly had fences.
We hardly had any fences. We had what the fences we had were actually hedges. But now we are now building up walls around us. So there was a lot of peace. There was no divisions. I can't think of any divisions. I've never heard my father talk about an Igbo man or Hausa man. All kinds of people came to the house. So I don't know where it's all
been
going.
perfect. It couldn't have been perfect.
It wasn't perfect. No, it wasn't perfect. Of course, it wasn't perfect.
So, were there any painful memories, like situations that you remember very clearly that you also like to share?
Well, my father dying was one painful memory. That's a painful memory. I remember a time robbers came to the house. Robbers, it wasn't common. It wasn't very common.
The primitive thieves.
The primitive thieves, took to television and things like that. No, nothing.
Were you around when the war broke?
I was 9 or 10. My father then was back in England.
Yes.
I remember now.
I was 9 or 10 too.
Yes, I remember the time.
And I remember the bomb.
I was going to mention the casino.
The casino.
I remember my mother, we were in the kitchen, and that was 1969, or that was 69.
69.
And there was this massive explosion, and the pots fell off the...
Yeah, it was very close.
Yes, it was so close.
We were at railway compound, so it was close.
Lagos was bombed.
Yes,
yeah,
it was
casino.
bombed. Was that the only time?
No. There was another one around Victoria Island.
Thank you.
That was the second
That's right.
one. Yes.
So that incident still
those
stuck
were
in my
the
memory.
painful, yeah. Those
Very
were
painful.
that would have stuck in your mind, growing
And I
up.
remember the songs they used to sing.
Stop,
careless
talk. Know what to do.
Join the civil defense.
Is for all of you.
In case of a bomb about, don't scream or shout. Don't run into the streets. Broken glass will cut your feet. Stop, careless, stop. No.
Oh, Jekyll. Oh, Jekyll. Those were lovely days.
Lovely days, yes.
Those were days. Those were days when we were all just
Just one Nigeria.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yes,
know,
just one Nigeria.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. And you see, I think that we haven't shared enough of those memories with our children. So they keep wondering what.
Well, some memories are painful to remember. Some things you don't want to remember. And then, they're at the back of your head. And you just simply forget, except somebody, you just mentioned it to me, just reminded me now. I've forgotten.
Yes.
But there's some things you don't want to remember. And this is one of them, because it was a painful period in Nigeria's history. And unfortunately, I'm not sure we've learned from it. I don't want to go into regional politics, but I don't think we've learned from it.
Yes, it's not sure. Well, now, you most definitely were old enough to see some of the transitions, in some of our systems, call it that. Maybe in sports, entertainment, technology. Would you want to remind us of some of those things, the way they transited from one stage to the other?
Well, television, for instance. Television started in what year?
1963. Yes.
Was it WNTV?
1961 or something. Thereabouts, yes.
There's been massive transitions, the technological advancements, computers.
Yeah.
I think let me talk about advertising. You remember the days we used to use letter set? You know what letter set is?
Those were what we
Can you explain that?
Yeah, those were what we used to type out our fonts.
Our fonts?
The words. You scratch out each letter.
And stick them to
it comes on a paper like that. You put it on, and then you scratch it out. That's how we, instead of typing it. There was letter set machine.
Eventually, yes, that came out.
The typesetting machine.
So today's advertising guys don't have that kind of knowledge. Radio production.
Remember the telephones?
The dial-up. I remember Ray Mike Studio. Ray
Mike, late Ray Mike.
It was all analog. You had to retake certain takes. But with the digital studio, it's just a question of taking one and now editing. So things are really, you won't understand the kind of, it was a joy. It was a joy, it was a pleasure.
It was engaging.
It was engaging, but now I am not sure it's not as...
the satisfactory pleasure that people get from whatever...
Yes, whatever they're doing.
Venture they're going into,
So that has changed, advertising has changed, the culture has changed, the music industry has changed.
For the better.
Well, that's relative.
Well, it's relative. It depends. It's more qualitative. It's more quantitative than qualitative.
In terms of the message, in terms of
everything.
Facilities
it's more commercial.
It's more commercial.
The quality of music that comes out now.
The quality, yes. Remember growing up on high life music, Dele Ojo, Victor Wifo, Victor Olaya. I find today's lyrics a bit too vulgar. The other day I was listening, yesterday I was in the car, I was listening to somebody talking about his girlfriend and pancake and...
anything is lyrics.
I decide...
Anything is message.
I switch off. So the music has changed. Values have changed. Societal values have changed.
Yeah. Praise singing is still in vogue. You mentioned a few people who, the song is all about one or two people.
Yes.
And the music becomes...
repetitive, and boring. So
and it blows, and it blows, and the artist makes a lot of money.
For that word blow,
and then drop. Is a new word.
Blow, then drop. My album will drop. So it's changed. Everything's just gone on there.
Let's quickly look, zeroing on the fashion and the style industry. Are there any fashion trends that you remember?
Of course, fashion evolves now. I remember the thin trousers used to wear, the thin suit, Tonteri suit, and then the bell bottoms that came out, and then bags, and then platform shoes, and then
high waist trousers.
High waist trousers. Thank you. So it was all fun then. And then looking back at those, when you see those photographs, and you ask yourself, did I wear this? Did I wear this? There's this popular photograph that's on Facebook showing three guys in their belt. I'm sure you've probably seen it in their bell bottoms. I said, I wore this. How did we ever toast ladies in those days?
You felt like this is it.
We used to have something called hip style.
Hip style. Yeah, which
you put your trousers.
It was a decent way of what do they call it now? Of sagging. It was a decent way of sagging. It was a decent way of sagging.
Yes.
But at least the trousers were held up by the belt. Today's now, and then you're showing your underwear.
Today,
you're showing your underwear. I told a couple of guys like some years back, I said, take a picture of yourselves now.
Yes.
10 years from now, you're going to say to yourself, you look stupid. And they do look stupid.
Yes. And still on fashion, right? How nationalistic were we as a people? Or would you say that the influence of colonialism and all of that outweighed our nationalism in fashion?
I think it's even better now.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
I get it. Look,
I get that feeling.
Look at what you're wearing. This is...
And look at what you are wearing.
Regular.
Thank you. We were more in tune with European fashion then. Nobody was seen in Ankara. But now, even the West, famous celebrities are going for Ankara. So there's more interest now, there's more passion now, and there's more creativity now.
Okay. Yes.
More creativity.
Clearly.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I'm impressed with that.
Okay. So that's a plus. So very quickly, how then did we transit from the Western influence in so many aspects of our lives, to where we are today? How?
I think it was I think Festac too also contributed it.
Yes.
The pride of Africa. People like Fela.
Festac 77.
Fela himself, who was an ambassador of African values, also encouraged that. And I think we evolved. We evolved into. I don't think it was deliberate as such.
What triggered it? What could have triggered it?
Just the fact that
we woke us from
our slumber, if we were sleeping.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking it was.
I guess it's life.
It was a collective thing.
I guess life happens.
Life happens. Life evolves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Life happens, and then you just get tired of seeing yourselves wearing the same tie suit. You had fashion. Fela wasn't a fashion fashionista, but he encouraged us, you know.
But his style was unique.
His style was unique.
You've mentioned Fela. You've mentioned Fela a few times.
My friend now. Fela was my friend.
Yeah, you've referenced him several times.
You cannot but reference Fela.
Yeah,
in
so truly he
was an icon.
He represented.
Yes.
He represented us in so many.
I may not agree with some of the things he did, you know, his lifestyle, but he represented, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of people say that he came on the scene too early.
He came when he was meant to come.
He came when he was meant to come.
Came when he was meant to
but
come.
we didn't understand.
We didn't understand him. We didn't appreciate him. We didn't appreciate. Now we can appreciate him. You know?
Okay. Now I know also that our Independence Day celebration in those days was always something we all looked forward to.
October 1st.
Tell us a bit about that, we were at the race course.
I remember that was where I first saw General Gowon.
Yes.
And I was staring at him. They had such presence.
Yes.
Such charisma. And I said, maybe I should join the army. I think I wanted to join the army because of...
And he spoke in English is something else. When he opened
English.
Yeah.
He was a gentleman.
He was.
An officer. I think he was one of the last of the originals, along with Aigbe and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And quite a number of them.
And
they stood for what the military... They stood for the...
And Joe Garba. Remember Joe Garba?
Don't talk about Joe.
Joe Garba, how he used to bark out his...
He had presence. I don't want to go in that direction. Please.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid going in that direction.
Ambassador.
But those were the last of the officers or the gentlemen. We don't have them anymore. So back to the
Independence Day
we
celebration.
looked forward to being part of the group that went to the race course for the march
from school.
March for schools. It was time to interact with children from students from other schools and things like that. It was something we always looked for. Every year we always banded for being part of that group that went to the race course.
Yes.
But I remember the last time I went, it rained heavily.
I was going to say that. Do you remember that every 1st of October...
It rains.
It rained.
But this one was unusual. It was unusually heavy.
Wow.
This was 1970. I think it was in Form 1 or Form 2. It was heavy. And I remember I developed a flu after that. I was home for about a week. That was my last... I think that was my last memory of the Independence Day. It was so colorful too. And then the guys on the bikes.
It was always colorful.
The guys on the
displaying.
The outriders are displaying their gymnastic skills on bikes.
Those were the days.
Now, no fears of anything happening. No fear. Of nobody coming in.
I can't remember.
No protests in the process of
the popular outrider, you call him for the president at that time. He's calling Baba something.
Baba, I can't remember.
Yeah, Baba something.
I can't remember.
And we all knew him.
We knew him.
You know?
Yes, we knew him.
We all knew him.
I remember one time he fell off his bike.
Yes.
But he did it in such a... He landed on his feet.
professional way.
He landed on his feet.
Yes.
And everybody...
Baba something they used to call him.
It was a mistake, but it turned into, it turned into style.
Wow.
Okay, quickly we were, because really, before you
okay, because Farah is going to come in much later on to look at what changed in a bigger perspective. Quickly, when did things change, and why do you think that these glowing moments, these beautiful memories that you have, are no longer with us?
I think they say, if you really want to know somebody's character, give him power, give him money. I think we had too much money too soon. We didn't know what to do with it. And then values changed. Things changed. Let me go back to Unilag. There's a vendor who used to leave newspapers.
Yes.
At the Marriott Hall. And he would just leave them and disappear and leave a jar. Leave a jar. And then you pick up the newspaper, pay. He would come back in the evening and
collect
money. Dare that now.
You wouldn't dare that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't dare that.
So values change, competition, everybody wanted money. Everybody wanted to belong.
Hard work wasn't it anymore. Dedication.
Hard work wasn't anymore. There was so much money. Gowon said it now. He said we made so much money, we didn't know what to do with it. So there was no planning. And they forgot about the agricultural development, and we're focusing.
Don't even let's go into.
I was hoping we wouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, don't go into that because even as a matter of fact, unfortunately, you know, I'm being prodded that
time is on.
Time is on. When did you start? It was like 3 minutes ago.
I don't know. I
Yeah?
don't know. But suffice it to say that
3 minutes ago we started.
we're still here, and we're here looking at the good old days, as they say.
Yes.
And the good old days hopefully will come back.
You know that song? Those were the days, my friend. We thought they would never end.
I must say that it's been really good having
Thank you so much.
They say that friends go around the world, and after 40 years they meet.
We converge.
And I think that's what's happening.
That's what's happening, yes.
So, I mean, I want to thank you so
And you're
much.
leaving me out of it.
You're my friend too now.
Okay.
I'm waiting for 40 years.
Okay.
Then we'll meet.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then from the perspective of our guests, bringing us to speed. My Nigeria, our Nigeria, yesterday, today, and the future, Mr. Muiwa Majekudumi, we thank you again for lighting up those dark areas and
Thank
for
you.
giving us those wonderful memories of our dear country.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I hope I did justice. I hope I did enough justice. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
You know, let's continue with the reflection, you know, believing it will steer us better and faster towards the goals and the reason for our true independence.
Yeah. And moving on very quickly, let's take a break. When we come back, our second guest joins in the conversation. He is Mr. Semore Badejo. Don't go away.
The Independence Day usually comes with a multiplicity of reactions from Nigerians. PlusTvAfrica took to the streets to get reactions on their dream Nigeria.
Then we did that place where be the president, may they help us. Try, may they make things easy for us.
We want the country to be improved, to create job, and people that do not have job, let them have jobs so that no stealing, no corruption. All those people who used to beg, so we want to abandon all those things for Nigeria so that we want Nigeria to look like small London.
If to say work day, if you come meet person say, mo go do bad, you know, you go say, I will get work, I no go fit do bad.
Our president, Muhammad Buhari, you have to take an absolute action about what is happening in Nigeria. We have to go through deep into it. Nigeria is supposed to change. It's not like it's not supposed to Nigeria. When you call Nigeria, it's not supposed to be like this.
I want this Nigeria to be good so that everybody will enjoy it. I want the leaders so that they think about the poor men, they think about the common man, so that when the country is good, everybody will hear us. Other foreign countries would like to come to here and do business.
Let the government know that Nigeria is a better place for us to stay. Let the government, let them be shoveled. In fact, the whole system should be touched.
There is no picture. I wanted to come up with a picture. If we can come up with a picture, then the future of Nigeria can turn green again.
Our leaders knows how we were before and the way we are coming till today. If it will go like that, I'll be very happy. I think it's my own country also. I will benefit, them too will benefit.
That should create a better future for the youth. A better future that maybe tomorrow our children, they will say, yes, this is the kind of country they like to grow up in.
It's a special edition of Today with John and Helen. And Nigeria, yesterday, today, and tomorrow is our focus. Joining us now is Mr. Semore
John, go on.
Badejo.
Thank you very much.
Who holds a first degree in mass communication and masters in communication arts with a career in broadcasting spanning over, wait for it, 30 years. He cut his teeth at the Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation as a reporter and news anchor, a crisis manager par excellence, who currently heads Concrete Communications Limited.
Our guest produced and presented the first radio program Expose on Eco FM. He is an active member of the Central Working Group Nigerians Vision 2020. Shemori Badejo is a registered associate member, Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCOM, associate member, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, as well as a member, Nigerian Union of Journalists. Welcome to the show, Mr. Badejo.
Thank you.
And
good morning.
Happy
Independence.
I wish you the same.
So, guess what? It's my day today.
Yeah.
I have two friends on the show.
Wow. Excellent.
So, Shemu, good to see you.
Same here.
Now, let's try and honor some of the changes we've experienced as a people. Some say that things started changing when we changed our national anthem. Do you agree?
Well, change is dynamic. Change is a continuous process. With or without our national anthem, there will always be change.
Change, yes.
Yes. So I think it's a continuous thing. There will still be
changes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's a natural thing.
All right, so it has nothing to do with the change in the words and the vision on the interpretation of the words that are embedded in the new national anthem. That's what you're saying.
Oh, national anthem is like a bond that connects you and your country. It's like affirming the love that you have for your country. So no matter how you put it, what is important is the relationship with your country and how passionate you are about your country. Okay. Express it anyhow. The ultimate goal is for you.
So here we are at the moment on television.
Yeah.
And there's been so many changes, remarkable changes in programming and what the audience are served in these days. Tell us what you know in terms of what it was then, content-wise, and what we have right now.
We wouldn't live here today.
No, make it short.
I'm going to say in those days of quality programming, I remember when we started, every word was scripted.
Yes.
In those days, you even want to say good morning, the time is 7 a.m.
Yes.
It will be written down.
Yes.
There were no call-in programs. You have to develop your concept and fill a 2-hour program with contents.
Yes.
Wow. These days, what do we have? We have a presenter that will just get into the studio and say, good morning, my people. Today, what we are saying, is it good to beat your wife? And that becomes the program for 2 hours. Call us and let's discuss it. I remember in those days of quality radio programming, in Yoruba, they used to call that radio station Asoro Magbesi. That is radio that you just keep talking to people without getting a response.
Yes.
Wow.
But today, that is no longer it. You get your immediate response. You get more response than even the presentation. So you can have a sentence as your presentation program, and then you allow people to start calling in and that fills a program.
Yes.
So we are actually losing that quality of presentation. We are losing it to development, to technology.
Yeah, and that's a fact. I remember my days at FRCN, every Friday we used to have what we call presentation meetings, where you review people's performances just randomly, over the week, and that put us on guard.
Yes.
Everybody's name has to be properly pronounced. But you see, okay, Shemo.
No, before you move on, John, you talked about what used to be, and you came across to me as what happens now. It's not what should be. But my question is, what happens to feedback? I think what we have now, there's more feedback, immediate feedback, and immediate interaction. Isn't that good?
Good, but what do you do with the feedback? That is also another issue. You know, when you have a duty, you have a primary role of information dissemination. Okay. But now, you are no longer disseminating information.
Enough, well.
You are now getting a feedback when you are not giving substance. Okay. Yes. Like I just said, you say, oh, is it good to beat your wife? And then you allow,
and that becomes,
and then you say that's a feedback. When you are supposed to actually run a program that say, how do you even come about beating your wife in the first instance? What are the factors that could cause you to want to think of? So when you do all of that, you have a quality presentation. Then you can also have a feedback at the end of it all. Yes. But these days, you just throw in one liner and then you ask everybody to go. So as much as it's good to have feedback, it's also good to have a quality presentation. How much of information are you passing across to your audience for you to even get a quality feedback from them?
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, all right, we've taken a look at our dear country post-independence, immediately after independence. You know, and obviously, the story has changed. That is clear.
Yes.
A lot has changed. Today, while we see an evolution of that gets us to more IT service stuff and all of that, we note that the youth are trying to rewrite a new cultural outlook for this country. We touched a bit with What do you have to say about it?
Well, it's a reflection of the society and our growth. I remember in my platform, I run a series called The Good Old Days, Greater Tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And what actually brought about this, I was just talking to my son, who is well above 20, and I told him in our days when we were serving the country, our allowance then was 200 naira, and he started laughing. He said that wouldn't even buy a loaf of bread today.
Yeah.
He was now thinking we were magicians. He was asking, how are you guys able to survive it? And to me, really, I was actually thinking, were we magicians too? No, what happened between that time and now? My children are well over 20 years. They have never stepped into a post office in Nigeria before. They don't even know what, I mean, outside Nigeria, yes, but they don't even know. So it set me thinking, we can do something. We can start teaching a little bit of history. Yes. We can go and talk about our good old days, what we experienced, so that they don't think they are fairy tales. Yeah. And then we begin to project into, I'm a passionate believer in Nigeria and the Nigerian state. Yeah. Because I believe that we have the potentials. There is this lady, God bless her, Fumi Adams. Okay. She sang a song. That lyrics got me, and will always get me. Nigeria, a beloved country, walking together is the key. Nigeria, my beloved country, our future is you and me.
Profound.
That's a collective responsibility.
Yes.
There is this favorite Chinese proverb that I like. He said, he who blames others has a long way to go. He who blames himself is halfway there. But he who blames no one has arrived.
Has arrived.
Has arrived. It's a collective responsibility. Whatever we're going through, whatever we see, I don't want to blame anybody. I try to use we. We as a collective. There are things we do in our own special area, in our own space, that we should do to contribute to the growth and value. Even corporate Nigeria. I was talking to somebody, I said, well, the corporate Nigeria is also part of the blame game, but we are together in this. Imagine you have a show, you will bring a popular artist because you can get 10,000 people, I can pull the crowd for you. You get 10,000 people. You don't care if it's coming to play vulgar songs, but the bottom line is what you have to. Can you stop to think that if I have these 10,000 people, can I bring one artist that will preach morals for 10 to 15 minutes? We can be happy. You never can tell. You can get 100 converts, 200 out of those 10,000 who will think and say, this guy is making sense. So the corporate Nigeria too, we are all in this together. We can come together and start to add value to society. Those values, those cultural values that we're talking about. When I was growing up, I grew up in Elisha. My greatest ambition was to become a caterpillar driver. Because that was when there was dignity in labor. All I was, Sonel Bodel, there was a construction company in Elisha then. So that we used to call it Shinobole, you know. Yeah, because the man would come with all the gate and all the various gears and all of that. And everybody would be hailing him. And I was seeing myself in his place. I said, look, someone that will come and everybody in the neighborhood would gather together and hail him. Because I saw dignity in labor. And I'm not sure any child born around this time will aspire to be that kind of a person. But I saw the man, he was even enjoying the love for the job was even there. You know, these days, you know, the values have changed.
Yes, values have changed.
But I'm not giving up on Nigeria.
Great.
These days, it is celebrity status. It is how much money you make as quickly as possible.
Yes.
You know, from the professions.
Yeah, that's my dad's first car. And mine too.
Wow. That's the Peugeot.
The ladder.
Okay.
Ladder. The slogan then was ladder, a new breed in elegance plus economy.
All right, so today the world itself has become a global village. We all know that. With just one click, we find ourselves mingling with, you know, strange cultures. Strange cultures have come to take over. How has this helped or affected us?
Yeah. There is this general saying that we think global and act local. It is not an offense to borrow ideas, but what do you do with those ideas? I like this quote from Alexander Pope. He said, for all forms of government, let fools contend. Whatever is best administered is best. So how you take whatever you have and borrowed,
what you do with it.
What you do with it. If you say, I remember in 2015, I was rounding up my PhD dissertation in the US. There's a friend of mine, an American, who accosted me. He said, you guys in Nigeria, you think corruption is your problem? I'm sure if I ask you, what's the problem of your country, you will say corruption. He said, it's not corruption. Honestly, the guy opened my eyes to some, he said, the problem is rule of law, not corruption. He said, Obama was the president in America then. He said, if Obama should slap his driver today, the whole of America knows the number of years he's going to spend in jail. Even from the media. The following morning, it will be, you know, it will be headline news. Obama risked 5 years in jail.
Yes.
Everybody knows.
Yes.
So it becomes so difficult for even the judge to do much about it. He said, but once that system, once the system is right, everything thrives.
Yeah.
So it's not so much for what we practice, but how we practice it.
Respect for the rule.
Yes. Well, I remember when we were putting together Nigeria's visioning document in the year 2007, Justice Alba Belgore was our chairman then. One professor stood up and said, we're doing a visioning document for Nigeria for 2020. There are 3 bus stops before 2020. Election 2011, election 2015, election 2019. And powers will change. Probably the same party will not win. And then there's a policy somersault. somehow.
Yes.
That is what we have. Is there a way we can legislate all the things we are talking about here, so that it becomes a policy?
It becomes, yeah.
So when another government comes in, they will know that this must be followed.
Yes.
So what we have in Nigeria is a process challenge. It's a process challenge that I believe we can overcome.
And we hope we'll overcome it.
Yes, because if that had happened, by 2020, there are landmarks, there are deliverables that we should have achieved. But it's not happening because those processes are not put in place.
And that's what makes an independent nation.
Yes.
Now we're 61.
Yes.
Are we truly independent?
Are we a sovereign nation?
No country is actually truly independent. But are we solving issues? Are we adding value? Are we where we're supposed to be? I prefer freedom with responsibility. I prefer independence that is the value attached. So I am not going to, if you are saying, I will not allow you to go out there because I know you're going to cause havoc to the society and you restrict my freedom, I agree with it. Other than, say, freedom everywhere, and then you allow me to be messing up, or be doing things that are not right, just in the name of freedom. I don't subscribe to that. So I prefer freedom with responsibility. So I prefer independence that is guided, that there are some do's and don'ts for us to be able to get all we need. Is
Again, back to your rule of law.
Yes, get back to our rule of law.
Yeah.
Guided steps to be taken might not be too good for us. When I was teaching in universities, I used to tell my students, I give an analogy. I said, look, a child and a father, they are in the zoo. This child gets fascinated with the snake and he wants to touch the snake because to the child, he doesn't see the snake as harmless. He believes as harmful. He sees the snake as a friend, something he can play with. But as a father, you smack him. I say, no. He starts to cry because he does not know the danger that is inherent in touching that snake. But in future, he would appreciate that spanking. But currently, he will feel that this man is just wicked. He didn't allow me to touch the snake. But while he grows up, he would reflect and say, thank God I did not touch that snake.
It's a good thing you're talking about snakes.
Yeah.
Because Helen is going to ask us, is going to ask you a question that's been burning in her mind about the Japanese.
Well, I will ask about the Japanese, but right now, the first guest talked about, when he was growing up, he didn't know, it wasn't important who was Yoruba, who was Hausa, who was Idoma, who was Efik, who was anything, But right now, that is the bane of one of our issues: religion, tribe, ethnicity, and all of it.
Yes.
How can we get out of this before the Japanese issue?
Yeah, we have to go back. We have to, because it was actually true. We're not thinking of Muslims, we're not thinking of Christians. I remember in those days, I was a member of Boys Brigade. Muslims were part of us. We will trek and march.
Christian schools, Muslims
Christian schools and Muslims. I can recite Fatiha in Islamic, despite the fact that I'm the son of a clergyman. Because in our secondary school, every Friday is for Muslim devotion.
Yeah.
And we will all join them. They join us from Monday to Thursday. Friday we join them.
Because this is a family program. At what level do we begin to, try to bring this unity factor? We mouth it.
Yes.
How can we begin to practicalize it?
We are at fault. We are all at fault. Like I said, it's a collective blame. It's a collective blame. We parents, we will say, you don't move with this guy.
Okay.
You don't, this is my enemy. This one is this. And at the end of the day, those children, they grow.
All
in
right.
that hatred.
You know what?
Wow.
We'll have
There'll
to
be a
bring
part
you.
two.
We'll have to bring. There has to be a part two because today we're not going to allow Helen to talk about her
the
Japanese stuff.
Oh,
I've just been told that we have to let you go now and ask you, sir, if we call you again next time, will you be here for us?
I say yes.
I'm a call away. I'm just a call away.
Because it's a true Nigeria.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Nigeria.
Yes.
Wow.
But like I said, rounding up, I'm passionate about Nigeria.
Great.
I believe in Nigeria. I won't denigrate my country. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, 61 and counting, that's Nigeria. And thanks so much for providing us with a springboard to, our program today. It's been an interesting conversation, and we want to thank you again for it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And so with mixed feelings, we must forge ahead. Next, to look closely at what really has changed, in our focus area today, as we look at Nigeria, our nation, and the people. Pharaoh Owotomo will be holding brief on the lifestyle segment with her guest, Zil Akaraiwe. I hope I got that right. And it's always a cannot miss moment when Pharaoh and her guests are on the set.
So while Pharaoh gets ready, let's take a special shake-up for healthier and happier life with Dolly. Don't go away.
And welcome to the fitness section of today's show. I'm Dolly Phillips at Alpha Fitness Studios in Lekki Phase 1. Now, today, as you can see, I'm on the floor. And you need a dining room chair as well. So grab one real quick and let's get to our workout. What are we doing? Legs under the chair. Let's start with our warm-up. Deep breath in and out. And in and out. Two more, in and out. Last one, in and out. Let's reach up and over. One, up and over. Two, good. Up and over. Three, last one, up and over. Four, stretch the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's start. So, first workout, you're going to lie down. I'm lying down here. I'm going to bring my foot up and down, alternating. And your time starts now. Let's go. And up. That's one. Change legs. Up and one. Now we're focusing on those lower abs. Yes, that really hard to reach part of the stomach that just doesn't want to budge. That's what we're working on today. That's the major focus for today's workout. 2 more. 1 more. And relax. Now, legs outside the chair. We're going to clap above. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And up. Now, if you need to keep your knees bent, that's absolutely fine. Your focus should be to keep your lower back in the ground. So tilt your pelvis forward and keep that back on the floor. Ooh, you can feel the burn with this one. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Back to the first one. Both legs underneath that chair. We're sending it above the chair now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And up. Good. Alternate. And up. Now pull that knee into the chest. Yes, so you really get those quads working as well. Keep going. This is fun. I like this one. We're lying down after all. 4 more seconds. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and time. In and out on the side. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And out. And out. Pull those knees to the chest. That is super important. Come on. And out. And in. And out. And in. That's it. Keep going. No time. Go. That's it. 3, 2, 1. One leg above, one leg below. We're working. In 3, 2, 1. Let's swap over. This is hardcore. In. Don't kick that chair over. Come on. Make it work. That's it. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. You can feel this one. If you want to intensify that workout, look at your legs and what they're doing. Yes. And rest it. Okay, from here, I'm going to send my legs over and back down to the floor. Ready? Let's go. No need to straighten your legs. Keep it bent and down. Good. And over. And down. And over. And down. Teasing that stool as though you're going to drop your legs, but you're not. And down. Take it over. Awesome. Quickly, one more. And time. Now we're doing the opposite. We're sending it down now. You ready? In 3, 2, 1. Both legs through. In and to the chest. That's it. In and to the chest. Ooh, this one. Really hitting those lower abs right there. Come on. In and to the chest. Don't stop. Try your best. If you want to make it harder, look at your legs. Don't let your feet touch the floor. One more. And time. Ah, knees to the chest. And relax. Last one. Let's go. Over. We're only going to do 5 of these here. 2. Come on, one more. 3. 2 more, I lied. 4. Last one now. And 5. Hold it there and stretch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull one leg out. Yes, keep one down there. And reach to the side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Repeat the same on the other side. Let's go. 3, come on. 2, and 1. And relax. Side stretch. Other side. Deep breath in and out. Last one, in and out. Wow, that was awesome. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Happy Independence, Nigeria. Yesterday was Nigeria's 61st birthday, and a lot of messages people sent out were messages of encouragement, messages telling us to forge on, keep hope alive, chin up, and keep our spirits up. Why? Because our beloved country has disintegrated into chaos. But this didn't happen overnight. It happened from years of dropped standards and misplaced values. Well, that's my opinion. We also have a country that is now at the edge of the dam, waiting to either burst or be fixed. But here's one thing, you and I are Nigeria, and no matter how hard we may try, we cannot run away from this fact. We can't live in blissful ignorance, either in the diaspora or in Nigeria. Nigeria is an us, and we are its components. So today, I've got with me Zil Akariawe. I hope I pronounced it properly.
I hope so too.
and we're going to be talking about the national anthem and the pledge. Those two things are going to be our subject matter. Zil has been a guest with us many times, and he's a man of many talents. So I'm going to get right into the topic so that we can really discuss this very poignant topic. So Zil, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I said we were going to talk about national anthem and the pledge, and you said, But let's try and see what we can do.
Okay.
And I'm going to take them verse by verse. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the first verse of the national anthem. Arise, O corporates, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain, to serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. What does this mean to you?
Well, it means a lot of things. It means a lot of things. I'll start from the end. One nation, right, bound in freedom, love, and unity.
Peace and unity.
Freedom,
peace and unity.
So the question here is this. What does freedom mean? You see, because it would sound as if freedom in this context and unity are opposites. But it's a talk. What makes us free? What makes us free as a people is enshrined in the Constitution. The Constitution guarantees. So the Constitution is a document that is meant to bind the government to the people. The government. So this is our national anthem. And you said we'll discuss the pledge. This is what binds us together. We have a common goal, whether you're the government or whether you're the people. But what binds the government to the people is that the government guarantees our freedom. So whether we like it or not, you see that national anthem, it's conditional. Our freedom is enshrined in the Constitution. The moment the government starts to subvert that freedom, then peace and unity are the consequences.
So what about the people? Because the people make up the government.
People make up the government.
Yes.
The people do not make up the government. It's a farce. The people should make up the government in a democracy. The government of the people, for the people, by the people. In Nigeria, it's a farce. What it's supposed to be is that the people that run government should be a part of, from, and share the experiences of the common man. We don't have that. We don't have that in any definition whatsoever. So no, we don't have a government of the people. We have a government made up of people, government made up of Nigerians, who are public servants. But think about this. You have public servants that do not use public amenities. So how can they improve the lives of the public? Their children do not go to public schools. They do not use public hospitals. They do not even use public transportation. They do not fly in public aircrafts. When they want to travel, there's a private wing for them. They do private everything. And so when we, the people, are going through hardship, they are completely oblivious to it because they've insulated themselves. They are not the people. They are people, but they are not the people. So that disconnect starts to remove the essence of the national anthem. We're not bound with our leaders in anything. Nothing binds them to us, nothing. So when my children go to a public school and come back and tell me, I didn't did it, and I'm in shock. Who's teaching you that? And I need to call my legislator, or I need to call somebody that represents me in the educational committee of the Senate. Who do I call? If you call them, they start asking you weird questions like, who gave you my number? How dare you? They don't see themselves as representing me. So that's a huge disconnect that we have to address. Second stanza.
Yeah. Okay. O God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right. Help our youth the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow, and living just and true. Great lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Over to you.
To build a nation, so two things I would like to say, because we don't have a lot of time. It talks about, it's a prayer, and I love the second stanza. As far as I'm concerned, I would rather do the second stanza than the first stanza of the national anthem any day. This is to build a nation. Okay?
Yeah.
The first verse talks about a country.
Yeah.
The second verse talks about a nation. They're not the same thing.
I see.
You build a nation. A country is a geographic expression. You use some guys sit down somewhere, they bring out a map and they draw lines. That is a country. It is bound by geography, period. That's all that binds a country, geography. So Lagos State is drawn on a map. The day politicians decide to cut Lagos into two, it is not, so Lagos, Nigeria is a country. The second stanza talks about a nation. A nation exists outside of a country. You would love for your nation and your country to coincide, but for instance, the Jewish nation pre-existed Israel. There's a Tibetan nation that does not have a country. A nation is an ideology. And that's why the second stanza talks about building a nation. You build. Building is work. And it talks about the youth knowing the truth.
Yes.
Right?
Help our youth to know the
help
truth
our
to
youth
know.
the truth to know. You know what that implies? You can't tell somebody to find what they have. It implies the youth don't know the truth. And so once the youth know the truth, then they can put their energy towards building a nation. That's very specific on what?
Nation building?
Yes, no, but the verbs, the adjectives used, sorry. The last.
In love and hope to grow.
Yes. Build a nation
and
that
living
can,
just and true.
Yes, you're living in justice, you're now living in truth. You separate truth from justice, you have a problem. And where does the energy of a nation, not country, of a nation lie? It lies in the youth. They are the ones with the energy to do anything. They are the ones with the energy, what we call the reckless abandon, to go and seek truth. What we have is not truth. We need to seek it. Now, fortunately, to seek truth, you need a minimum level of education. And I'm not referring to schooling. I'm referring to education. Now, if you look at the youth population between 18 and 40, right now, the unemployment and underemployment as reported by the National Bureau of Statistics for that age bracket is 50%. You have 10 youth standing. Half of them are either unemployed or underemployed. So all of that energy required for nation building is idle, doing nothing. And youthful energy never does nothing. It's either creating or it's destroying.
Yeah.
And politicians have taken advantage of that idle energy. And in your opinion, are they building with it? So the national anthem is powerful. If we sit down and dissect it, one verse is a prayer, a request. It's a call to action. It's saying, this is what we want. It's not what we have. If you had it, then we don't need a prayer. You don't pray for what you have. You know, we need something. We need the youth to rise up, to seek truth, not to rise up and destroy. But again, like I said, the government has a role to play in ensuring that we all have education. Unfortunately for us, in the 70s into the early 80s, when we wanted all Nigerians to be literate, we sacrificed education for literacy. So we now have a lot of people.
How do you mean?
Literacy is about reading and writing.
Yes.
Education is about thinking and reasoning and planning and strategy. So what we did was we sacrificed education for literacy. Now we have hundreds of millions of people that can read and write but cannot think.
I said I wanted a mic drop. That's my first mic drop. OMG.
Yeah. So we have people, they can read, they can write, but they can't think. You have a discussion with them and they say things, they're wondering. Education is about asking questions. Why do we have things like this? Why can we not change this? Why are things not better? Why are we doing things this way? That's what education brings out in a human being. It brings out questions. Literacy helps you to read and write. But if you can read and you can write, but you cannot think, of what value is your literacy? So we went on mass literacy programs, but not mass education programs. And that's part of what we need to start fixing.
Okay. So I'm now going to go to the pledge because I have questions, but I want to get through this. So I'm going to go to the pledge now. The Nigerian Pledge of Allegiance was recited immediately after playing the national anthem. Yeah? That's the way it's normally done. And it says, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. For me, there's some keywords there.
Many of them.
Yeah, many. Some of them is her. It doesn't say he.
Unlike the national anthem that says fatherland.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it ends with, so help me God.
Which is the part I hate the most, but go on.
So, over to you.
So I pledge to Nigeria, my country. So the first line, it sounds like an unconditional pledge, but it's not unconditional, it's conditional. But you need to be able to reason it out to see the conditionalities embedded in the pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country. I'm pledging to an existing entity. Now, what makes that entity exist as a relationship between me and them to make a pledge? You know what makes that the existence of that relationship?
What?
The Constitution.
I knew you were going to say
Yes, the
that.
Constitution. So the country exists, the country pre-exists me. The Constitution pre-exists me.
The country is not 61 years
The country is not 61 years old. The country pre-exists me. The Constitution pre-exists me. So there's a Constitution, right, that pledges that the government will ensure my freedom in certain areas. It says we, the people, agree, but it tells you what the government will do for me, do with me, and do to me on certain conditions. So I become an adult, and I go through that document and say, wow, I have freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of expression. That's guaranteed. The government is going to uphold law and order. The government is going to protect my life and my property unconditionally. The government is going to provide me with justice, a system that ensures there's equity in the land. I go through that document based on the promise of government to me. Then I will pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful to what? To the Constitution that you are already faithful to. So the sense is this: if the government breaks that trust, then you are breaking the basis of my pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, based on the fact that the country has a document that also pledges to me. If you are not going to uphold your part, it becomes very unjust in basic law of contract. You cannot breach your terms of the contract and try to use force to get me to uphold mine. That is slavery. And that takes us back to the fact that we say we are independent. And the question is, independent from what? Because in my opinion, independence is about being independent of the colonialism that we were forced into. But it's not about being independent of British rule. Because to rule a people, you set certain infrastructure in place to control them. If you're going to be independent of their rule, you must be independent of their infrastructure that allowed them control you. Now, guess what? The British left. They didn't live with their infrastructure, they left it. It's now left to us to take the infrastructure, dismantle it, and like the second stanza says, build a nation. We didn't build Nigeria. The British built Nigeria, built the infrastructure, ran into crisis because of the financial strain of the Second World War, started to let go of all the colonies. That's why in Africa, a lot of independence happened between 59 and 66. Not a coincidence. It was a financial strain on them. So they pretended to let go. But they left their infrastructure. Now, guess what? Our politicians then came in. Instead of them dismantling the infrastructure and building a nation that we deserve, that aligns with our natural culture and religion, they built on the same infrastructure that allowed the British to control us. And so we are not independent of that infrastructure. The infrastructure is now used by the politicians. The politicians are now the equivalent of colonial masters. We serve them. And so they know this. And that is why we do not have any freedom whatsoever. I can't even use Twitter because somebody doesn't like it.
Oh my God, I'm like, oh my God.
So if we're not independent.
So are you saying we're still in slavery?
We are still in slavery to a different set of masters. We're in slavery to, it was politicians in the first place, then it became the military in the next place. Now it's a combination of military people that call themselves politicians. I don't have freedoms. There are many things I can't do. We're not going negative, you know what I mean? But we need to understand that independence is about being independent of an imposed infrastructure. If the infrastructure was imposed to control you, If the puppeteer changes, you're still being controlled.
Okay, so I'm shaking because these are many mic drops in one. You've essentially just said to every Nigerian listening now that this is all a fallacy.
In my opinion, it is.
This is all a farce.
Because we have not built the nation we want. And to build, if you build a nation, if you build anything, I can always come back and ask you, where's the design? And you show me. So if this building, I say, where's the design? I need to make amendments. You know what they're going to bring out?
The architectural
drawings. I'm going to say, this is, I say, oh no, this deviated from that, this deviated. We can then either change it, realign it. If you build a nation, there's an architectural design. What is the architectural design regarding our culture, regarding our religion, regarding our growth, regarding our productivity? What are we doing within the age, for people in the age range of 18 to 40, where energy, youthful exuberance, intellect, risk appetite exists? What are we doing? How are we training them to lead the country once they get out of the youthful exuberance? There's an architecture. What is the educational curriculum architecture? What does the educational curriculum prepare us for? It prepares us to memorize. To memorize what? Instructions and orders. It does not prepare us to apply. So when you look at the architecture, you can easily see it's the colonials needed us to obey orders. And so our educational curriculum is about memory. Memorize it. Regurgitate what you've been given.
But I'm going to interrupt you there because we've run out of time. But very quickly, to what you're saying, to what you're saying about memory, it's interesting because the key difference between studying in Nigeria and studying abroad is that in Nigeria you're taught to think. You're taught to abroad. You're taught to think. You're taught to rationalize. You're taught to apply. Yes. Yeah, in Nigeria, you're taught to cram and regurgitate. Exactly. But it's the same British educational system now. No. I studied in the UK. It's the same British educational system.
Is it the same method? You see, so do they train their people how they trained us? Do they? No, they do not. So guess what? In 2021, we still have the Western world throwing carrots at the developing world to get their best brains and best talents to come over there and do what? And lead them? No. Work for them.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. And in one sentence, as individuals who make up this country/nation, what can I do today to begin to build the nation that we want, the nation that we've been told we can build? What can we do as individuals?
There's no elixir, there's no one thing. But as an individual, I will tell you, take control of yourself. Your education is your responsibility. With the internet and smartphones, you can educate yourself. You can begin to learn, you can begin to question, you can sit in your house and have exposure to what other countries are doing. And don't be myopic and learn that things change. You can educate yourself. Because
how does that benefit the community? Because we're supposed to be building a nation.
Because once you educate yourself, you're a light. You can't hide light.
True.
That's it. Once you're a light in the midst of darkness, you shine. Once you shine, other people who did not think shining was possible would draw energy from you and begin to shine themselves. You cannot point fingers. Because to build a nation, the foundation is education. That was the first destruction the colonials did. They have to destroy your education and reimpose it for you to follow them. We have to go back, and if we can't do that from an institutional perspective, we can certainly do that from a personal perspective. Ask questions. Why are things this way? I don't jump into the conclusion of it's always been. No. We saw China. 40 years, in 1980 to now, we saw how China changed. We've seen how Singapore has changed. We've seen countries transform themselves. What happened? They were educated. They understood. They had a vision. And that vision is generated and channeled from education. Let's not, I know you wanted us to talk about what has happened before. But
this is
let's
perfect.
talk about what can be. So in 20 or 30 years, can Nigeria educate a generation of people that become leaders in Africa? Yes, we can. What does it take? Then we plan, then we build that architecture. Then in 10 years' time, somebody looks at the architecture. We have 10 million children out of school. We need a teacher-student ratio of 10:1, so we need 1 million teachers. For 1 million teachers, you still need a teacher-teacher ratio of 1:1, so you need 100,000 teachers to train teachers that will train children. Where do we get 100,000 from? Then you build it. Then you start building from there.
Okay, we really have run out of time, but the summary of what you're saying is, as individual units, because I'm going to bring this back to the family units.
Yes.
We can begin to, within our families, re-educate ourselves. We can unlearn and relearn.
Yes.
We can become the light within our families, extend that to our staff who work for us, extend that to the community, extend that, and we keep extending.
Exactly.
And that's how we begin to build a nation.
And then maybe in one generation, we would then challenge and say, I'm in traffic, everything, and then you come with your siren and try to bully me off the road. And imagine everybody in traffic comes out and says, why are you doing this?
Because everybody is working on a different wavelength.
Or you're driving on the wrong side of the road. Everybody comes and says, why are you doing this? I promise you, we need to hold them to account.
Yes.
And it's education that gives us the power to do that.
The power to do that. Zeal. Mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. I really hope that this has been insightful for everybody that was listening, because honestly, I'm shaking. I'm like, I can't go back. I can't wait to go and watch this again. Thank you so much.
Thanks
We're
for
going
having
to
me.
do this again because we need a lot more time to dissect some more. But thank you so much
Thanks
for
for having
being
me.
here. It really has been an honor. And I can't wait to have you here again.
Anything.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank you. So John, Helen, and myself are going to very quickly round up the show. So please, please stay with us for a few more minutes whilst we do that. Thank you.
So, welcome back. It's been awesome, like Farah will say.
Always.
Awesome.
Always awesome.
But I'm not going to talk about that today. We've run out of time. So I'm going to dive into the nugget.
Go ahead, John.
The nugget for today is very simple. And it's just simple advice to people when you address your audiences. To look approachable, uncross your arms. We always see public speakers go up there and they cross their arms. It is a defensive, it's a poise that doesn't make for openness. So we advise you that for the audience to feel that you're approachable, as much as possible, uncross your arms. Be open. And I hope that you'll be open for us next week. Yes? So, Farah.
I love that cheeky smile.
All right. Okay.
Farah,
you're not
let's say our
talking.
goodbyes.
Yes.
Nothing.
So, next week we'll be here again with another very hot topic. So please, please stay with us and join us next week.
And I'd like to leave us with, it is time to look to the future with hope for a more prosperous country. Let's renew our pledge to uphold our national unity and rededicate ourselves to working towards peace, progress, and development. It's a collective assignment. Let's do that as we look into the next year. Congratulations, Nigeria. And thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We'll see you again next week.